Hey, Crossgates. Welcome back to the Midweek Update. This week's update is intended to be both humorous and confusing. I'm calling it the case of the missing handbell case. I'm actually in the handbell room right now. It's my old office. And we've been looking all over the church for a case of bells that's actually smaller than this one. And it's just so confusing because middle of June is the last time we saw this case, but there's no reason for it to have left the handbell room, and we're just trying to figure out, did we give someone permission to borrow them and we forgot? Did I don't think I did, but I'm just so perplexed of why the smallest case of handbells has gotten legs and walked off. And so I send this out both humorously but also seriously. When y'all are up here at the church, look around for a tiny little bell case because we have no idea where they are. And the bell, that smallest bell case, the bells are probably worth $1,100 to $1,200. And so small case of the missing case of bells. To keep us alive here at Crossgates, let's get on our detective hats and go around and see if we can find that case. If not, I don't want to have to fill out a police report so we can report it to the insurance company. Plus, these are bells that were made as a memorial gift, and so there's kind of a heartstring pull there. But I don't suspect nefarious people looking to abscond and walk off with a small case of handbells. We just literally cannot find it. Joey looked all over. I've looked all over. Merrill has looked all over. Surely they're just somewhere around the church. But it just left me thinking about all the different ways that the life of the church has been moving and going and doing. In spite of the fact of all the confusion of COVID and everything else, that I'm happy to know that at least we were using the bells. And I give thanks to Merrill and Cindy for the way that they continually are finding ways to use these beautiful instruments. And so if y'all would help me Scooby-Doo this thing and find the case of the missing case, the case of the missing case. So just a small, short little update. Small thing to add to it. Y'all have heard me say this before. Y'all, please encourage people to get their vaccines. And I lament that vaccinations have become a political hot potato. Vaccinations are simply a way to stimulate our body to form antibodies so that when the virus or bacteria show up, that our bodies know what to do with it. It's not some weird poison. It's actually something that centuries ago farmers noticed that they could take the smallpox off of pigs and rub them on their skin, and they were less likely to get human forms of it. I know that sounds nasty and gross, but this is something that the ancients have been doing for a long time. And then I believe it was Jonas Salk who started doing research and found that there's a way to use live viruses and then weakened viruses, and nowadays we don't even use that. We use little protein particles. So long story short, don't be afraid about those things. Talk to your doctor if you feel like you need to. I've gotten my vaccine. I felt really cruddy after the second shot for about 24 hours, but oh boy, do I feel a whole lot better in the world today. But with children becoming sick, with the state of Mississippi seeing a rapid increase of cases, and sadly, we have at least a dozen kids in Mississippi on ventilators right now because this virus, this new variant, is just smacking these kids really hard. So let's pray for our state. Let's pray for people to have courage to do the right thing, the necessary thing. But let's be a people of faith and trust. I was reading this morning the scriptures. And instead of the psalm reading, I was just looking at the gospel reading, and it led me just to the role that Jesus played in the lives of people and still plays in our lives, of being a shepherd, of being a guide. And I just find so much comfort and compassion from Jesus in this passage. This is Mark chapter 6, verses 30 through 34. The apostles gathered around Jesus and told him all that they had done and taught. He said to them, "Come away with me to a deserted place all by yourselves and rest for a while." For many were coming and going, and they had no leisure even to eat. And when they went away in the boat to that deserted place by themselves, they saw them going. The people saw them going, and they recognized them, and they hurried there on foot from all the towns and arrived even there ahead of them. As he went ashore, Jesus saw a great crowd, and he had compassion for them because they were like sheep without a shepherd, and he began to teach them many things. Crossgates, this is who we are as followers of Jesus. Yes, we know that the Lord calls us to go away with him in quiet places to try to find solace. We also know that the world, nonetheless, is lonely and hungry and hurting, and we now bear the image of Christ, and we now bear the message of Christ, and there are times when, yes, indeed, we truly need to find a way to rest. But there are also times that no matter what, when we're confronted by the needs and hurts of this world, we have compassion, and that we are ready to teach, to lead, to guide, to love, be present with people. So Crossgates, I see Christ in you. I hear Christ in your voice. Be bold to proclaim his words, his message. Be bold to act like him. Be bold to go where he would go and to hang out with who he would hang out. Because in this way, we're actually doing what he called us to do, which is simply follow me. Love you, Crossgates. See you Sunday.